Hello students, welcome to La Excellence. Welcome to the session on Geography through Maps. As we see every year, even this year, there are certain important issues associated with international relations. So, as you're aware, international relations is nothing more than geopolitics. So, geography within the geopolitics will be mostly asked in prelims. So let us see some of the most important issues that are important from the world point of view. This year, one of the major interesting area is Central Asia. If you look at Central Asia, China is interested in Central Asia because of its One Belt, One Road. Russia is interested in Central Asia and it wants to go for Eurasian Economic Union. And Russia is already talking with Taliban groups of Afghanistan. It has its own plans. And India is also showing interest in Central Asia, where Indian Prime Minister, President, Vice President, Sushma Swaraj, everyone has visited one or the other country of Central Asia. So in any form, there can be a question about Central Asia. But as I keep telling you, as geography is basically the focus of UPSC, first let us see what can be the question. First, I would say please try to see the 5 countries of Central Asia. And then see their capitals as well. Kazakhstan, Astana, Uzbekistan, Tashkent, Turkmenistan, Ashgabat, Tajikistan, Dushanbe, Kyrgyzstan, Bishkek. They may ask you to arrange it from west to east, or they may ask you to arrange from north to south. This is one question that you can expect. Second, you have Aral Sea in this particular area. They may simply ask you Aral Sea is in between which 2 countries, Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, right? So this is another important aspect. I want you to know Tajikistan is one Central Asian country where you actually observe India's Air Force base is present. So, from that point of view also, this place is important. If we try to observe some physical features present in this particular area, I want you to know apart from the Aral Sea, Lake Balkhash is present in this particular area. You will have Amu Darya and Sir Darya, rivers which are flowing from the Aral Sea, right? So this is second important aspect that we need to consider from this particular area. Then what is important for us is Caspian Sea. You might have read in current affairs already that countries around Caspian Sea has already spoken or they have come to an agreement about what we call as dividing the waters among them. You know that according to UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on Law of Sea, from the territory or baseline of any country, 12 nautical miles will be considered as territorial waters or sovereign waters. Whereas these countries have agreed that from their region, almost 15 nautical miles will be considered as territorial waters of those countries. Second, they say additionally 10 nautical miles is given for exclusive economic zone. That is, together they will have 25 nautical miles of area. And the remaining, they are saying that it would be international waters. Second important thing in this region is almost all the countries around Caspian Sea has oil and natural gas a bit. If you consider first, you have Iran, which has border with Caspian Sea. Then you have Turkmenistan, which has border with Caspian Sea. You have Kazakhstan, which has border. Please remember, Uzbekistan, can you see here? It does not has border with Caspian Sea. And then when we observe, you have Russia and you have Azerbaijan. So 5 countries has border with Caspian Sea. One student was telling, sir, we can remember Iraq. That is Turkmenistan, Iran, Russia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan. Somehow try to remember these 5 countries. This year, they can be extremely important for us, right? Caspian Sea, countries around Caspian Sea are also important for us. I hope this is clear. Next, another important thing with respect to Central Asia, which was asked in mains as well. And if we look at that, can you observe Oman, right? Along with Oman, we have Iran. After Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and then Kazakhstan. So can you see this? 5 countries. Later, Pakistan joined it. And then India has also joined it. So what are we talking about? Ashgabat Agreement. Now this agreement was between the 4 countries first. Later it was extended to Kazakhstan. It is a rail and road route present from Oman till here. Even though there is a water, they have the ferry and all, and then they'll be moving. Now, India, when it has joined this particular grouping, after this you have Caspian Sea. Now, India is planning to connect international north-south transport corridor. I hope you recollect. Even in the last year videos, I want you to open last year videos once after watching these videos completely. The reason for this is, at least if you can see last 2 to 3 years, that is this year, last year and before that, 2019, 18, 17, once you see, I have ensured that I'm not repeating those things much, and the relevance of those are still present. So if you look at Chinese One Belt, One Road, Maritime Silk Road, I have explained those things in detail in the previous year. So I don't want to waste your time by dealing with those things again and again. But I want you to know that we have international north-south transport corridor, which tries to connect your Russia with Azerbaijan and Azerbaijan. So I'll just repeat. So now we are actually talking about international north-south transport corridor. Can you see here? You have Iran, you have Azerbaijan, you have Russia. Fine. Now, what is this Ashgabat? Oman, Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan. Now, we are planning to connect these two. So, it looks like we are going around the Caspian Sea and coming back. That's why Caspian Sea has again become important for you. So guys, please try to see each and everything associated with Caspian Sea. Now, I want you to observe even this particular part of Caspian Sea, which is Kara Bogos Bay. Please try to see. We never know what can be a question about Caspian Sea. Guys, I'll repeat. We are talking about Caspian Sea, Central Asia, Ashgabat Agreement. They're all related. More or less, they're all connected with international north-south transport corridor as well. So it's extremely important for you to read this once. Second, When I talk about old north-south transport corridor, the new international north-south transport corridor is actually moving from Russia, Azerbaijan, Iran, India, which is a land route. But after Iran, it is a sea route. Earlier, from Russia till India, it was completely a sea route. So if you look at this Baltic Sea, after that we come to English Channel, after that we come to Strait of Gibraltar, then we come to Suez Canal, right? After Suez Canal, we come to Bab el Mandab Strait, and then we come to of Aden and India, right? So this was sea route and this is the land route. I'm extremely sorry for the map that is there. All this is part of India only. We did not find the maps properly, that's why we had to use this. Next, so after seeing these important areas, let's quickly move to the next topic, that is about Qatar crisis, Gulf crisis that is occurring in the Middle East. Now, when I look at this particular region, I'm more interested about Persian Gulf. Correct? So if you're talking about Persian Gulf, Iran has border with Persian Gulf, Iraq has border, Kuwait has border, Saudi Arabia has border, Bahrain has border, Qatar has border, UAE has border, Oman through this particular thing, right here, they have border. Second, whenever I am talking about Oman and Iran, they are separated by Strait of Hormuz. In other words, Persian Gulf and Gulf of Oman are separated by Strait of Hormuz. It is considered to be one of the busiest route because oil and natural gas is present in this particular area as it is a convergent boundary. We are not interested in all those aspects. But now, as we are talking about GCC, initially, all the countries which speak Arabic language were called as Arab countries. Iran is not part of that. Iraq is an Arab country, but Iraq is also not part of what we call as Gulf Cooperation Council. So you had 6 countries, Kuwait, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE and Oman. Now out of this, Qatar had told that we are moving out, and recently there was news that they're not moving out of this. Just check once, because till the last minute what is the issue, it will not be clear. So Iran and Iraq are not part of GCC. There are 8 countries. 2 types of question can come. Which countries have border with Persian Gulf? Second, they may ask you a question about GCC. Read about GCC. Second, look at the geographical aspects of these countries. Once UPSC had asked, arrange the capitals of these from west to east. So, I don't know, they may ask because they have repeated several maps based questions. Just look at these countries once. The next important issue is about Yemen. If you look at this particular place, that is Yemen, here Al Hudaydah is extremely important and it is in news for many reasons. Simply UPSC can ask you, Al Hudaydah hyphen Oman they may give. You may get confused. It is Yemen. It is in news, guys. So let's not discuss about it because it takes a lot of time to explain, which is not helpful for you. So just try to remember that Al Hudaydah is here. Al Qaeda, Al Qaeda, Houthi rebellion, they're all associated with this. Next, when I talk about another important country, it is your Djibouti. Can you see here? DJIBOUTI. Very, very important country. US initially, France, China, Saudi Arabia, and today India. Everyone is interested in investing in this country mainly because it is closer to Red Sea. And towards Red Sea you have Suez Canal as well. Due to these two reasons, Djibouti is important, Chinese naval base is coming here, and UPSC may ask you which countries has border with this? Eritrea, Ethiopia, and Somalia. And one question which I have regularly observed is which of the following African countries is landlocked? Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Somalia. If you observe, Ethiopia is landlocked. So just be careful. They may ask you this question. One is about Al Hudaida. Second one is about Djibouti. The one which separates Yemen and Djibouti is known as Bab el Mandab Strait, Strait of Bab el Mandab, or it separates Red Sea from Gulf of Aden. Right? So it's extremely important. Just see that once. Next, this year there was attacks in another important region called as Sinai Peninsula. Terror groups, if they gain control of this particular area, just beside that you have Suez Canal, which is extremely important for the world navigation. Second, if you look at this Sinai Peninsula, they may ask you a question. Sinai Peninsula is in between which of the following? Mediterranean Sea on north, Gulf of Suez on west, Gulf of Aqaba on the east, and Red Sea below. Please observe this carefully. Second, it has border with Egypt and it has border with Israel. Right? Israel had captured this. There were several good reasons. But for me, if they ask you Sinai Peninsula, it is part of Egypt. At least that you should be aware. You should know where Sinai Peninsula actually is. Next, Israel is in news for different reasons. And if we look, you have Gaza Strip. UPSC may ask you, Gaza is present in which part of Asia? You should know it is West Asia or Middle East. Now, you have West Bank. You have Golan Heights. This is already asked. Again, they may ask. Recently, US has said that Golan Heights belong to Israel. So again, there can be a question about Golan Heights. It has border with Lebanon. It has border with Israel. It has border with Syria. Right? So Gaza, West Bank, Golan Heights, and also Jerusalem. These three names are extremely important for us. And I want you to see Sea of Galilee, right? So this is also important for you. Just check where are these present. That's it, nothing more than that. Dead Sea is in between Jordan and Israel. Sea of Galilee is in between is in between Jordan on one side and Israel on the other side. And depending on the Golan Heights, you will decide whether it has part or not. So this cannot be asked. They may ask you, where is Sea of Galilee present? Nothing more than that. But what is important is Gaza, West Bank and Golan Heights. Please see this carefully once. Next, you're all aware about India's investments in Afghanistan. And when we look at this, if we have to go to Afghanistan, then it is always through the Chabar port. Prelims last year also they asked about this. Now from Chabar port of Iran till Afghanistan, it is Iran's border. Iran's roads are there. From Zaranj to Delaram, can you observe this region? Zaranj to Delaram, India has constructed the road. After that, you have the Garland Highway of Afghanistan. Herat, right? Delaram, Kandahar, Kabul, Mazar-e Sharif. Just try to see this once. Garland Road or Garland Highway is associated with Afghanistan. We have connected Chabar port to Garland Highway so that we can get access to all these regions. It's like our golden quadrilateral. Next, when we look at this particular picture, I am talking about China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Now this starts from Kashgar and enters through POK and then through Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, right? And then some parts of Punjab, Sindh and Balochistan. Baloch people have attacked this particular area a lot. This is your China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. And in this region where the Indus River actually flows, right? China is constructing dams over this particular area. The mountains that are present in this region is your Karakoram mountain ranges. So just try to see these aspects once. Second, I want you to know about Gilgit-Baltistan and the Azad Kashmir region, right? So it is in the Gilgit-Baltistan region, China is constructing all their projects. India initially has criticized China for constructing it in POK without asking permission from India. Pakistan has 4 provinces. Now Pakistan is trying to convert Gilgit-Baltistan as its province, that is as its state. Now Pakistan, if it says Gilgit-Baltistan is there, right, then officially if it is theirs, then they need not take permission from India. Second, in case future, if we take complete control of POK and all, at that time Pakistan will claim that this particular part is theirs, right? This is not Kashmir's. It is always part of Pakistan. Whereas when you look at this particular region, Azad Kashmir region, they may say that Azad Kashmir region is only which belongs to Jammu Kashmir of India. Rest all are Pakistan's itself. So Pakistan, to ensure that they have connectivity with China and to safeguard the projects of China, recently they have passed saying that Gilgit-Baltistan should be or is the province of Pakistan. So UPSC may ask you about Gilgit-Baltistan region. Next, you have heard about the Pulwama attack, airstrikes and all. Please try to see where Pulwama and all are there from Indian map pointing. But when we look at Pakistan, right, Balakot, if you observe, it is beyond Azad Kashmir. That means India did not enter into POK, but India entered into Pakistan and we have bombarded there. Then you have Muzaffarabad. Then you have Chakoti. Just try to see the names where the airstrikes had occurred. Then, after airstrikes, Pulwama attack and all, you might have heard about Indus Waters being blocked. But here I want you to know, when I talk about the Indus, first thing that I want you to know is Indus, when we say, you have to remember the Shyok and the Zaskar tributaries of Indus as well. And Indus, after moving here, they move down. So you will have Jhelum, right? Chenab, Ravi, Bias, Satluj. And if you look at these, Ravi, Bias and Satluj, which are considered as eastern rivers, are part of India and western rivers are part of Pakistan. Kishan Ganga, India is constructing run of the river projects on these rivers as well. So please remember, these 3 are ours, right? As of now, some water which belongs to us, we are sending it to Pakistan. Now we may be constructing dams to divert it within India. Next important issue always where UPSC asks is about Asia. When you look at ASEAN, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, plus India. If you take these six, we call it as Mekong Ganga cooperation. Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, Brunei, and Philippines. If we consider these 10 countries, we actually call them as ASEAN countries. UPSC multiple times has asked arrange the capitals from west to east, north to south, all this. So these 10 countries and the capitals, just try to see. India is not part of ASEAN, so don't get confused with this. Next, Mekong Ganga cooperation, or China is planning to construct several dams on the rivers which flow from China. If you take Brahmaputra or Sangpo, beside that you have Irrawaddy River, then you have Salween River, then you have Chao Phraya, then you have Mekong River. Please remember, Irrawaddy, Salween, Chao Phraya, Mekong. They may ask you to arrange from west to east. Chao Phraya is very less, but if you see Irrawaddy, Salween and Mekong, they all come mostly from the border of China. It has some relevance, so just try to arrange them from west to east. Next, we had already made a video on North Korea. Just try to see. Else, I'll tell you some points which are important. North Korea is important because of its significance, where they have agreed to unite with South Korea. And second, they are having peace agreements with US. Now, when you see Yalu River is having border with China and North Korea. North Korea has a small border with Russia as well. It has border with South Korea, China and Russia. So just try to know this. Second, if you observe, there is demilitarized zone, international border between North Korea and South Korea, right? The seas which separate them is also important for you, right? This is one important aspect. Then, the second thing is, from last 3-4 years, this is in news. I can't say that they may not ask you. Significance is still present. So I'll just repeat once. If you see this particular line in the South China Sea, this is actually called as 9-dashed line of China, where China claims this entire region is part of this. Recently, Philippines had filed a case over Spratly Islands, Scarborough Shoal, Paracel Islands and all. So try to know that Paracel Islands, Spratly Islands, Scarborough Islands are disputed between China and the South China Sea countries. So Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, Philippines, China, Taiwan, they all have border with this particular region. I'm talking about 9-dashed line, and I'm also talking about these islands which are present here. And in this region, artificial islands being constructed. What is the meaning of artificial islands? So the islands which are below water level, they are trying to construct above it. And they are trying to claim that entire region is theirs. One, island's name. Second, 9-dashed line is important. Then when we talk about East China Sea, I want you to know that Senkaku or Diaoyu Islands was disputed between Japan, China and Taiwan. They have Socotra Rock disputed between South Korea and China. Again, they may ask you a question. Spratly Islands, Paracel Islands, South China Sea. Socotra Rock, Senkaku Islands are disputed in East China Sea region. Next, I want you to see Arctic Ocean once, because China is talking about the Polar Silk Route policy, where from China they're planning to go through this and reach to Europe. So just try to see the countries which has border with Arctic. So if you see, you'll have Canada, you'll have Alaska, which is part of US, You'll have Greenland, you'll have Iceland, you'll have Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. 8 countries are part, and these are your Arctic Council countries. India, China are observer countries. Just see that countries are more important. Then, within this, if you observe this particular region, we call this as Kamchatka Peninsula. Here there are islands called as Sakhalin Islands. Can you see this? Right, these islands, Sakhalin Islands, right? So, Kuril Islands. Just try to see in this area, you have oil and natural gas. OVL is working in this particular area. They may simply ask you Kamchatka Peninsula is in which region? Siberia, right? That is Russia itself. Mongolia is becoming close with India, and if you see, it is landlocked between China and Russia. India has invested in Dornogovi region of Mongolia, where it is like oil refinery. Oil is refined and Mongolia will be using it. Dependence on China will be reduced if this occurs. India is playing a major role in helping Mongolia come out of Chinese influence. So just try to see this once. Lake Baikal is not at the border of Russia and Mongolia. If they ask you that, it will be a bit tricky. Yes. The next very, very important area where UPSC may ask you a question is Sea of Azov, Black Sea, Sea of Marmara, and Aegean Sea. They may ask you about these 4 in the order. And Sea of Azov and Black Sea is separated by Strait of Kerch. I'll show you that. Guys, this particular part in the Black Sea region is known as Crimea. Russia has controlled it. Earlier it was part of Ukraine. So UPSC may ask you a question, where is Crimean Peninsula, Black Sea, Caspian Sea and all? Just try to know that it is in Black Sea. And can you see Kerch Strait separates Sea of Azov and Black Sea? This can be an interesting question. Just be careful. Then, when we talk about Mediterranean countries, again this year, not from Asia's point of view alone, but from Africa's point of view, it's very, very important. So let me tell you, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt. In Tunisia, Arab Spring actually started. Later it spread to Egypt, Libya, and recently in news, even Algeria. So all these countries more or less as oil, and they all had Arab Spring and change in democratic regimes. Al-Qaeda and all is trying to spread its influence in this particular area. So just try to see about this issue carefully. And then European Union, I just wanted you to know that because of Brexit and all, try to read about European Union in international organizations. No need to remember the countries which are part of it. Then, because of the Jal Vikas Marg and other issues, I want you to know about the Rhine River. This is also important waterway. They may ask you through which countries it passes, but mostly on one side of Rhine River, you have Vosges Mountains, and on the other side you have Black Forest. So try to read these two once. Fine? Rhine Rift Valley. Guys, many people talk about the Baltic Sea. Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania are considered as Baltic states. They all have become part of Chinese One Belt, One Road. We are also expecting that there is some rift between Russia and these countries because Obama wanted to keep some nuclear weapons in this region and there was issue about that. So try to know Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, they are known as Baltic Sea states. Then I want you to observe in Africa the first 5 countries once. Somalia, Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, South Africa once. These are the countries where Indians were significantly present because these are marine states where Indian population were sent to work in the sugarcane fields. Then I want you to see this particular area once. In the maps you can easily see Sierra Leone and Liberia is known as Grain Coast. Cote d'Ivoire is known as Ivory Coast. Ghana is known as Gold Coast. Togo, Benin and Nigeria is known as Slave Coast. They may not ask you, but still this region is in news because of Chinese investments. Just go through that once. The next most important one is New Zealand because of the Christchurch attack that occurred. Now, apart from this, they may ask you a question on some physical features. If I say Southern Alps, in which mountain or in which country it is present? New Zealand. Mount Cook is considered to be the highest peak there. Second, it is part of South Island. New Zealand has two things. One is North Island, another one is South Island. North Island and South Island is separated from Cook Strait. So just see this also once. Cook Strait, North Island, South Island, and then you have Canterbury Plains. Right? Downs in Australia, Canterbury in New Zealand, they are all temperate grasslands. Just try to see. Australia and New Zealand is separated by Tasman Sea. So just try to observe this, and from geography point of view, the South Island is part of British climate, right? 45 to 60, just check once. The next most important one is about Venezuela. And when I talk about Venezuela, I want you to know about the Maracaibo region where a lot of oil and natural gas is actually present. So one is about that. Orinoco River, you should know. Where is Orinoco River? Venezuela. Guinea Islands, if you consider, and Orinoco River, Angel Falls is associated with this particular river. It is one of the largest oil-rich region of South America, and today they are fighting economic crisis, mainly because of over-dependency on one particular economic activity, that is oil. Just try to read about Venezuela a bit. Then, I have already told you just this year as the crisis has increased, Mexico and US is separated by Rio Grande River. US and Canada are separated by what we call as 49-degree latitude or minus 10 degrees Celsius isotherm. You have Great Lakes, which are the 5 lakes: Superior, Michigan, Huron, Erie, Ontario. And in between Erie and Ontario, you have Niagara Falls. You have St. Lawrence waterway as well. So one waterway which is important for us is about the Mississippi, Missouri. And I hope you are aware Mississippi, Missouri makes bird food delta in the Gulf of Mexico region. Another one is the St. Lawrence waterway, which is also extremely important because of what we call as Jal Vikas Marg, National Waterway of India. They may ask you other waterways in the world. So Mississippi, Missouri, St. Lawrence in US, Rhine in Europe, right? Ganga in India. Guys, Baffin Bay is important. You might have heard about the polar vortex and all. During that time, this was in news. Just know that it is over Canada. So guys, with this, we have seen all the important areas for this year. One important issue I want you to focus is about the Sri Lanka because of the terror attacks that has occurred. Please go through the maps of Sri Lanka. It may be Batticaloca, Colombo, or any other place, Negambo, right? Go through the places once, right? Northern, Eastern Territory, Hambantota, Trincomalee. They may ask you to arrange them from west to east or north to south. Sri Lanka is another important area which you have to read. Fine. Please go through these things. If there is anything new, I would try to add them in the comment section. Before exam, 1 or 2 days, you just try to see. In the comments, I'll pin it so that it would be easily available for you. And guys, after this, I just want you to know that La Excellence has opened its branch in Bangalore as well. So we will be available in Bangalore, and there are a lot of mains oriented courses. Once you write your prelims, irrespective of your result, start preparing for mains. If you want any personal guidance in any form, you can contact us. Rambabu sir, myself, and all other faculties of La Excellence will be available in both the centers, Hyderabad and Bangalore as well. And second, optional, those students who are looking for geography optional, I have taken complete geography optional, which is covered in 140 to 150 hours. If you want to complete it before mains, you can contact to the details given below. Right? Thank you guys. Thanks for watching and all the best.